Hi, I go by the name of Heinz, your friendly neighbor, Ketchup Man. And before we get into this is the Ketchup preview show where we preview trials that are coming up. We are currently covering the Kouri Richins trial and have been since its inception, since day one. And things have gotten a bit muddy, I would say, because up until this point, the state, I believe, has been putting on a very solid case, very clear case to show how Kouri may have been responsible for this. Of course, they had charged her with aggravated murder as well as possession of narcotics or drugs. They had basically alleged that Kouri had essentially gotten this. They had basically, let me just refer to my notes because I just want to be sure, because everything that happened on day 5, we have to understand everything that has been happening all through this trial to really get what day 6 might be in store. So everything that has been happening on day 5 has really been just a lot of chaos happening. Day 6 has left me with a lot of ambiguity, right? It's left me wanting to know a bit more about just the drug deal that has been going on. What is going on there? Because, like I said earlier, the state has had a case in which it seems very clear. From day 1, we have heard that Kouri Richins was, of course, on the opening statements that apparently she was cheating on her husband, now deceased husband, Eric Richins. And on top of that, she was actually planning to start another life with this man called, I don't know his first name. I'm really bad with names. But nonetheless, she was planning to start a life with this guy that goes by the name of Grossman. And what happened from and that was their theory. So she was planning to start a life. Her and Eric were not on great terms because of the whole cheating, of course, and they went on to present evidence for this through Clive Benson. Not that Eric discovered the cheating or anything. That could happen. We could see evidence of that. But it's just the fact that Clive Benson gone to testify about the line of credit that was basically taken out by Kouri Richins. So this has upset Eric to a point that Eric decided, okay, I need to possibly pursue a divorce. And you won't believe this. Both Eric and Kouri had a prenup. On top of that, we got to see the body cam on day 1 as well, at the end of day 1, from one of the officers that was on the scene that day, and we got to see Kouri's visible reaction to the entire ordeal. Now, all of that was clear. So, how did we go from being that clear to being obscure in literally 2-3 days? And in all fairness, it goes down to one witness and one witness only, and she goes by the name of, like I said, I forget names, and I just want to be sure that I say the name properly. Her name is, did I write it down? I didn't even write it down. Nah, I did. She goes by the name of Anna Isbell. Anna Isbell was one of the witnesses that was called by the state to testify on day 5. And it was probably one of the most strangest call, because I was struggling to find the relevance for her, and just really and truly why the state would call such a witness that was more advantageous for the defense. And I'm going to explain that a bit later. But we go to understand everything and return back to Anna Isbell, we have to go to the next witness that was on, who goes by the name of Robert Crozier, who was the other a drug dealer that was happening. So he was the person that was supplying the drugs to Carmen, whom we heard testimony from day 4. We done preview streams covering all of this. You can find it in the weekly docket. The link should be in the description. So nonetheless, what basically happened is that on day, let me slow down. I have a lot of notes here because a lot of things happened on this day that I literally just thought it must be highlighted. So what happened here is Croce's testimony was a complete bloodbath, if I'm being honest with you. Everything that he was doing, everything that he was testifying to was just backing up the defense theory over and over again, and even presented a possible alternate route that the defense could even take without even going into Eric's problems or anything like that. And I'm going to explain all of this near the end. So let me just go straight into his testimony, where we are going to basically hear what he has to say in regards to what he was the transcript hearing, one of his hearings back in 2022 about this particular case and his involvement in this particular case.
Read a copy of that transcript.
I have.
Is it an accurate transcript of your interview with detectives that day?
He said he doesn't remember anything about it.
Well, I'm going to let him answer it. You're objecting to foundation,
Let's just go through this bit.
or I don't know.
Oh,
Want to be clear?
okay, yeah, again, I don't know.
So
return-
immediately we see that both him and Carmen suffer from the same I don't know memory sequences, but there's a clear contrast between him and Carmen that we should probably dive into.
Now to an affidavit that you signed in September of 2025. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I do.
Did you swear to the affidavit saying that it was true?
Yes,
Did you read the affidavit before swearing to it?
I believe it was read to me.
In that affidavit, did you say that you sold drugs to Carmen Lauber 2 times in February 2022 at the Maverick in Draper?
I believe it said the same thing I've been saying, that it was once, maybe twice. Like, I don't recall if it was more than that. But
So he just confirmed right there. Well, he doesn't recall if he sold more than a couple of times, but he has confirmed to a certain degree that he did sell or transfer drugs to Carmen.
Did you say in that affidavit that one time you sold Roxy 30s and one time you sold Blues?
yes, but again, blues are, at that time, blues are Roxy 30. So they're
That-
synonymous.
That was
Yes.
your understanding of what Blues are, right?
Yes,
At that time.
yes. And if I sold somebody blues, then they were the Roxy 30s.
Okay, so we just got the confirmation of the blues now, right? We just got confirmation of the blues being M30. And there was an interesting testimony about this. I did forget to mention this. On day 5, it ended abruptly, right? What basically happened was that there was a confidential witness that came in to testify. He was I kind of don't want to reveal his profession, but he was part of the entire case, really. So what essentially happened is that he came in to testify, and the judge had shut off the cameras. I thought it was probably an infringement by Court TV. Admittedly, I was wrong here, but nonetheless, like I had to update my report to remove him because I did put his name on it, and I had to make a 1.1 version of it. I'm gonna go back to 1.0, but I had to remove his name. But there was someone that was in court that basically testified to, well, not testify. I'm so used to saying that. There was someone in court that, and this information was provided by let me just go to the actual browser. 1 second. I do apologize. Just making sure. Yep, that's the one. All right. So this, let me just share the screen. All right, let's go to the, here it is. Okay, so this is by Defense Diaries, and he basically testified. Well, he not testified. Why am I saying testified? I keep saying testified. But basically, Defense Diaries made a tweet in regards to that moment that, you know, that was cut off. No one got to hear the testimony. So because he, of course, he's a confidential witness, and yeah, Defense Diaries said that he asked a friend, right? For those that don't know, he runs his own podcast, Defense Diaries podcast, on his channel. Great channel. I've watched him a couple of times. If I recall, it was one of the. I've seen him with Andrea Burkhardt. I'm just freezing on the case right now, but I've seen probably an interview going on, blurring on right now. But nonetheless, what basically happened is that he basically said that the friend that was in the courtroom that overheard the testimony from the undercover cop basically said that he testified that it was, let me read it properly. It was that in 2022 there was pretty much zero prescription of oxycodone, right, on the streets, and pretty much every M30 they seized was fentanyl. Powerful witness to full closure. I wish we could have seen it. And I personally, as as nosy as I am, I'm like, that's game changing. Let's find out a bit more about this. What is going on? Like, is he saying from 2022 onwards? Because, you know, I like distinctions. Is he saying from 2022 onwards that it was called M30s, you know, fentanyls and zeros oxy, that it was just called fentanyl? And, or is he saying that it was just code words between each other? To which Defense Diaries basically confirmed, saying that it was rather the latter, and it was onwards 2022 that it was described as, so M30s were on the street was basically blues. And in all fairness, really going through all of this was clearly an issue for me, because immediately, especially for someone that has, you know, gone through study business and knowing how operations work, not drug world, just saying that's not code for anything. That's not code for anything. Just saying, like, we all have an understanding of supply chain is basically what I'm trying to say. We all have an idea that distribution has to happen from A to B. And if a product line changes, right, it's going to take a bit of time to have that line move through to the customer base. Usually there's a promo run to get everyone aware of the change. After that promo run, then people can start calling the new product what it is. So let's say Coke and Diet Coke, right? Coke has been long standing, but before people actually started calling Diet Coke, there had to be like a mass campaign for you to actually start associating Coke with Diet Coke, if that makes sense. So imagine there's a change now on 2022, and we have this moment in time where Kouri is trying to get Michael Jackson drug as it was introduced on day 4. So, with that in mind, 2022, no time at all, no time whatsoever to basically establish that, hey, there's a whole change going on here, right? We now have to go back to Robert Kush's testimony and listen to the rest of it.
Did you say in that affidavit that you understood actually at that time in early 2022, that OxyContin was the same thing as blues and oxy and roxy 30s?
No.
Did you say in the affidavit that you sold OxyContin?
No. No, I think like there were notes being made in it and things crossed out, but yeah, I clearly said that's not OxyContin. I never sold OxyContin. I sold oxycodone, Roxy 30s.
He sold oxycodone and Roxy 30s, and this is a point that I made in my report that I must admit I was a bit, I was thinking like, why is that happening? Because I had to capture this, but he definitely said that he never sold OxyContin, and it was oxycodone. He never sold OxyContin, and it was oxycodone. He also went on to testify. I'm not gonna play the whole of his testimony. He also went on to testify that he had essentially he had basically never sold OxyContin, made that clear again, and he also testified that there were some things. You know what? I think I should play this because it's going to be very important.
So, sir, you've never sold OxyContin?
Never.
Scott, can I get 847, please?
Let's move forward a little bit.
Please, Scott.
I mean, without all of the corrections, yes.
Let's
Depiction of the affidavit that you signed in September 2025.
I mean, without all of the corrections, yes. Like, as I was sitting in jail and going over it with the defense attorney, she was crossing like Oxycontin out because I kept saying that's oxycodone. And then she was crossing other words out. Like there was a whole bunch of different words that were put in there that were typos or they weren't the right words. They certainly weren't my words. But
whether they were your words or not, is this the one you signed? Is that your signature at the bottom?
it is, yeah.
This is a complete bloodbath for the state. I said it earlier that this was a bloodbath of a witness for the state, because this is, you have his own defense attorney keep crossing out words that he doesn't want to have, and now you have a conundrum that he does end up signing it, and now the state are trying to say, at least the inference that I got watching this, it was that, well, he is altering his statements to, to kind of send the idea that he doesn't want to get in trouble, etc. But now he's testifying again. He has a deal. He has to tell the truth. He has to. So, everything that he has. Did he sign a deal? Yeah, he signed a deal. Just I just had to make sure. So everything he's testified here has to be factual. Otherwise, perjury charges would ensue and further liabilities. So that testimony right there was devastating for a number of reasons, primarily for the fact that, well, if things were getting scrubbed out and it was established, because I had it wrote down here that, he well, actually, no, not wrote down. Some people were telling me that he was selling fentanyl, and I was wondering where that came from. I was wondering where the idea of fentanyl came from, and now this is where we have to go to Carmen Lauber, because she gave an important testimony in regards to putting this deal in place and who had basically facilitated the conversation between her and Robert Crozier. Let's listen to it.
All right. And so as you're talking about that,
You have to read her answer. The question is not evidence of anything. So you're at line.
all right.
Move on. All right.
And she asked if you'd been to the house before and you said no, correct?
Correct.
All right. So then as we move to page 47, line 14, Ms. Whistler says, okay, when you got there, did you go inside, correct?
Correct.
And she's talking about the small Midway house, correct?
Correct.
And you said, no, it was late at night and I put them in the fire pit, correct?
Correct.
And Ms. Whistler says, outside, and you say, yeah, correct?
Correct.
So this is the end of the drug deal. Apparently, it's all gotten here. The drugs, she being Carmen, CL, had procured the drugs, put it in a fire pit, and this is what ensued.
Turn the page. Ms. Whistler asks on line 7, okay, so you dropped this envelope full of pills in a fire pit in a vacant house in Midway. Did you think this was odd, correct?
Correct.
And you said yes, but I didn't think nothing of it, because if you're keeping a certain somebody out of the picture, you're not, I mean, if you know anything about the drug world, and then you don't complete that thought, correct?
Correct.
All right, so you told,
Objection, Your
Please
Honor.
pause. Go ahead, Mr. Butler.
Completeness. She
Please
does.
move on.
Correct.
so, and you say, some people don't really ask questions, correct?
Correct.
Mr. Bloodworth wants to bring
A topic.
a question.
Here we go.
Is you told Ms. Whistler
Here we go.
that the first pills you got from Susan Kohler you left in the fire pit at the Midway house, correct?
Correct.
But that's not what you're saying today, correct?
Correct.
Now, is it fair to say when you were talking to the U.S. Attorney's Office, who could potentially charge you with a 20-year minimum mandatory crime, you were doing your best to tell them the truth?
It was a lot to take in, so I probably had confused a little bit.
Were you doing your best to tell them the truth? Is
Yes.
that fair? You
Correct.
were. And this conversation was approximately a year after these events took place. The conversation with Ms. Whistler took place about a year after these things happened, correct?
I'm not sure on the dates.
Well, they happened in March of 2022, February, March of 2022, and you're talking with Ms. Whistler in May of 2023, so a little more than a year, correct?
I'm not sure on that.
Well, the date is on the transcript. Do you need to look
I
at it?
don't think it was a year apart, but I could be confused on the date.
All right. If I represent to you that this interview was in 2023, are you comfortable with that?
Yes.
Okay, so it was about a year after.
Okay.
And fair to say, 1 year after the fact, your memory was probably better than it is here today, 4 years after the fact, correct?
Correct.
All right.
Just before we get on to the next part, she had testified earlier, right? She had testified that she had searched and for the drug and found I said earlier that the text exchange to basically get this done with Carmen and Kouri Richins was get me stronger MJ stuff. Just get me the MJ stuff. She ended up going to propofol. Anyway, I can't pronounce that properly. So this is the next part in which the testimony is going to cover events around that.
Okay. Now I want to move to the second buy. We're going to talk about the second purchase, which would have been the first purchase with Robert Crozier. Okay?
Okay.
All right. So you reached out because Kouri said she needed something stronger, like maybe the Michael Jackson stuff, correct?
Correct.
And you couldn't remember if this was by text or phone. You said you weren't 100% sure, correct?
Yes.
All right. Can you pull up page 50? You turn to page 57. I'm going to let you use the book. You put 57 on the screen for me of the May 10th interviews.
All right. Let's fast forward a little bit.
53. Okay, you're right. 57. Line 7. Oh, actually, no. Let's go up to line 5. By phone, are you saying a phone call or a text, correct?
Correct.
Talking about your communications with Ms. Richins, correct?
Correct.
You said, I'm not 100% sure the officers have it all, correct?
Correct.
Do you recall what you said after that? Well, let me ask it this way. Do you recall telling them they made it easier for me because they draw it out? Like they laid out the whole puzzle and they fit the pieces together. Do you recall that?
Yes.
So you recall that you said that?
Correct.
And do you recall what Ms. Whistler said to you?
No.
She doesn't recall what Ms. Whistler said to her. For reference, she doesn't remember at all that she had basically said to Ms. Whistler that that she's not 100% sure if she said to Ms. Whistler that Kouri had told her to get fentanyl. So we have to go back to day 4. Day 4 was interesting because she testified to who she communicated with to even be connected with Robert Crozier in the first place to secure these bills that unfortunately ended up taking Eric's life. So this is what she testified to in regards to procuring the opiates.
I was going to ask her if she knew anybody that had any pills.
The her here is Nicole Cummings.
And you didn't want to ask her over Facebook?
No.
Why not?
Because once again, that's showing what I'm trying to buy. Illegal activities of buying drugs.
We could hear that.
Oh, let me just fix that. I think I have. Let me just fix that quickly. Okay. Hold on. I'm having a bit of technical difficulties. Here we go. And yeah, let me just sort that out right now. Here we go. And yeah, so. Oh gosh. Bear with me. Just trying to sort this out. I'll start again. Wee bit difficult today. Okay, let's continue on. So let me go back a little bit because this is the sorting out that I was trying to refer
Again,
to.
that's
So this is the conversation between Nicole Cummings and Carmen to sort out the drug deal that eventually led to Eric's death and also connected Robert Crozier and Carmen together. So yeah, I unfortunately because of the difficulties here, I had to you probably did not hear what the testimony was about, so I'll just play it again.
what I'm trying to buy. Illegal activities of buying drugs.
We could hear that, I'm sorry.
Illegal activity of buying drugs.
Thanks, Scott. Did you ultimately speak to Ms. Cummings over the phone?
Yes, I did.
And what did you ask her?
If she knew anybody who had any opiate pills for sale.
And how did she respond?
She said yes, she had a friend that could help me.
And did she identify the friend?
Yeah, she gave me his name. She said Robbie.
And is that the Robert Crozier you mentioned before?
Yes, it is.
Did she put you in contact with Robert Crozier?
Yeah, she gave me his number.
Did you call Robert Crozier?
Yes, I did.
What, if anything, did you ask Robert Crozier for?
If he knew anybody who had any pills, pain pills for sale.
Pain pills.
How
She
did he
says
respond?
pain pills.
He said he would reach out to a couple people.
Key word, pain pills. That's what she said. For someone, for someone that everyone says that is fentanyl, that that she has said that she has said that she told the police that it was fentanyl, etc. Right? The groundwork was laid. We saw what the defense had to present before reaching this point. So now going back to day 4, right? She could have said fentanyl here. Nope. Pain pills. Continuing.
Did he ever get back to you after that?
Yes, he did.
When he got back to you, what did he say?
He said he had a buddy that had some fentanyl pills.
Now we got fentanyl pills.
What then did you do?
I had texted Kouri back and told her that I had a friend that could get them, but they were fentanyl pills.
So you told Kouri you had a friend, a hookup for fentanyl pills.
Yes.
How did Kouri Richins respond?
She said, okay, go ahead and get them.
And for further context, she had, of course, testified on day 4 about how pricey it was, and she told her how pricey it was. She also testified about getting more drugs from Robert Crozier for the second time. Not only this, she also testified about communications between Robert Crozier to get drugs for the third time. So twice, 2 times. There was a first time that was, at least from what I've recorded here, first time was collecting the pills at Draper. That was the first time, and she placed it in the shed in the backyard. The next time was getting it the second time from her house in Eber. I don't know how to pronounce it, right? And that was the purchase from Robert Crozier. The third time, right? This was a purchase in where an exchange of money had occurred. So a check for $1,300 was basically given to Carmen, and she, of course, testified to the fact that she has never ever received any of that money for, just from doing the maid service. Let's listen to that testimony.
Okay. Ms. Lewis, any further record on this?
Nothing more for the record, no.
A text exchange between you and Kouri Richins beginning on the 6th of March, continuing on to the 7th of March. Is this that text message exchange?
Yes, it is.
Kouri Richins had asked you if you still had your hookup. Is that right?
Yes.
And is that the text message where Ms. Richins asked you if you still had your hookup?
Yes, it is.
And when you received that text message from Kouri Richins, what did you do?
I messaged back to her, text back.
And did you ultimately arrange to buy illicit drugs from Mr. Crozier the third time?
Yes.
Okay, so we got the confirmation there. The third time she had went on to, of course, get illicit drugs of course, you wouldn't introduce all of this if it wasn't confirmed. So the third time it was done, and then this is that's when the money exchange happened on the third time, right? Now, the fourth time is what she is testifying to now in regards to collecting additional pills, and she went on to describe what the pills look like. Let's listen.
With 15 to 20 pills in it.
Same
We
kind
go
of
back a
clear-
little bit so you get a bit of a context. Let's go.
When Robert Crozier came back out of the townhouse, did he have anything with him?
Yes, he did.
What did he have with him?
A clear little baggie with 15 to 20 pills in it.
Same kind of clear little baggie as before?
Yes.
Were the pills round,
Yes.
just like before?
Yes.
What was the color?
A little darker blue.
What did you do once you received the pills from Robert Crozier?
Left.
Where did you go?
Back up Provo Canyon with Nick. Nick had dropped me off. It was late. So Nick had dropped me off. Nick went home. I went into my house. Text Kouri. Told her I have them. What does she want me to do with them? And then same routine back to the Midway house.
Did you text with Kouri Richins back up through the Provo Canyon
Yes.
towards Heber?
Yes.
And then you ultimately left those pills at the Midway house?
Yes. In the closet on the right above. Like you walk in the kitchen and there was a door put on top of the closet.
Is that the same closet where you previously gotten money from?
Yes.
Okay. So
After
she
that,
got.
did you ever have any additional drug deals with Robert Crozier?
No, I did not.
Okay.
Have you ever been back to that Maverick in Draper?
No, I have not.
So am I right that the only 3 times you dealt drugs with Crozier were the 3 that you just testified?
Yes.
And the only 3 times you've been at that Draper Maverick were the 3 times to which you just testified?
Yes.
So, with that established, of course, I personally, I have, now, I have no idea why the defense went on that tangent, what they did to show that they went on 4 drug deals. But based on what just happened, it just occurred to me that the defense picked up that they just got her to admit 3 times going for a drug deal, but really and truly she testified 4 times. The reason why I say that is, let me just be sure. Let's just be sure of this.
Your friend needed anything.
How did Kouri Richins respond?
She said no, her investor had left town.
Thank you, ma'am. I do not.
Right. Now, she said there was no additional drug deal going on at this point. There was no additional drug deal going on. There was only Kouri. I contacted her, and that's it. So, three times what you just testified. Let's go back a little bit to right here. Remember, we had already discussed testimony here, and let's just be sure this was what I had to make sure I got this right before even putting this out. Because anyway, this was, if you all remember, right, this was the communication for the third drug deal. This was the communication for a third drug deal. This was the one where she got paid.
When you received that text message from Kouri Richins, what did you do?
I messaged back to her, text back.
And did you ultimately arrange to buy illicit drugs from Mr. Crozier the third time?
Yes.
The third time. Now, let's go to this part here. Third time. Let's go to this part here.
Were the pills round,
Yes.
just like before?
Yes.
What was the color?
A little darker blue.
What did you do once you received the pills from Robert Crozier?
Left.
Where did you go?
Back up Provo Canyon with Nick. Nick had dropped me off. It was late. So Nick had dropped me off. Nick went home. I went into my house, texted Kouri, told her I have them. What does she want me to do with them? And then same routine back to the Midway house.
That's another house, by the way.
Did you text with Kouri Richins back up through the Provo Canyon
Yes.
towards Heber?
Yes.
And then you ultimately left those pills at the Midway house?
Yes. In the closet on the right up above. Like you walk in the kitchen and there was a door put on top of the closet.
Is that the same closet where you previously gotten money from?
Yes.
It's I'm highlighting this because it's clever. It's very clever because it sandwiches it's the same location, so you may not clock it, but the defense clocked it. We went through that on day 5 preview, but the defense clocked it, and that's why that's why Wendy Lewis anyway was trying to say you are testifying to 3 drug deals, but really there was 4 because you just testified to the pills. I remember this distinctly. I'm not going to go through this on this, but it's something I felt like it was important to highlight because when we now go back to Robert Crozier, what he testified to, and it was in regards to let me just make sure that I got this information right. It was the connection between Carmen and himself through one intermediary, which was Nicole.
So do you recall a meeting?
I'm getting a bit ahead of myself. This is the cross-examination. So before going into that, let me get on the right link here. Hold on 1 second. 1 second. Here it is. There it is. Let's get on. This is Robert Crozier going through the hearing that he had to do in regards to this whole debacle, this whole case, and this is how he's connected to the case. This is on direct examination.
Yes.
Is the second paragraph accurate?
Yes.
Is the third paragraph accurate?
Yes.
So he says that I was contacted by my friend Nicole telling me that a friend of hers, Carmen, was looking for some pills. And if you notice there, it says Carmen Laba asking to purchase some. She told me she wanted Roxy 30s.
Scott, can you drop down one page and zoom in?
No, Scott.
Hold on. Hear that? Let me go back a bit for context.
Is that fourth paragraph accurate?
The fourth paragraph says she wanted blues. I understood this to mean she wanted 30 milligrams of OxyContin pills.
No, it's got a. Yeah, it's got it says OxyContin and not oxycodone.
He just clarified it from OxyContin to oxycodone. Nowhere in this is this guy saying fentanyl. This is why this case has bothered me, because I don't care how much you hate Kouri Richins. She could be the worst person on this planet. She could be the female spawn of Machiavelli. She could be the walking Lilith on this planet. This is not on, because clearly the trick that's going on here is paragraph 5, where the the prosecution is now introducing fentanyl into the place, which is true. It is actually true that fentanyl had changed, the term blues had changed to fentanyl. But objectively, there's no way any of these people would have known that change. So asking for blues and him thinking it's OxyContin, well, correction, he was thinking it's oxycodone, but it keeps, the record says OxyContin. Let's play on.
Is that fifth paragraph accurate?
No. Again, it says OxyContin and not oxycodone.
Again, no one is asking for fentanyl. How would Kouri know that the name has changed from if it's blues, right? How would Kouri have had time to know that this has changed on February 2022, right? That's the point. When looking into this case in the pre-trial, Kouri was asking for this drug back in December and January. Objectively, she can't have known. Even if she was the Wicked Witch of the West, there is just no way she could have actually figured this out and be like, hey, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's just move on to the next part, because I just wanted to clear that up. A lot of comments around that whole thing. Everyone can have their opinion, but the record says what it says. The drug deal was happening December and January. If you've been following pre-trial, that is actually apparent. I remember reading this from the document brief. We even done a stream about it on the preview stream coming into this. So with that in mind, the next part of the testimony that he gave went on to detail the exchange and what happened.
Investigators asked you whether Carmen Lauber asked specifically for blues or fentanyl or oxy. How did you respond?
I said that she asked probably for blues, but at that time, Roxy's were blues. It wasn't like it was like the slang on the street was, when people bought Roxy's, they were buying blues. It was before, this influx of fentanyl and it also said that usually so M30s. Yeah, that's what the Roxy's were stamped with, was M30s.
He just confirmed that the Roxy's stood for M30s, and it was understood to mean M30s. Hence why Nicole Cummings was even contacting him on the phone to even discuss and say, yeah, please get me Roxy's. That is the crucial part, because everyone was on the same page at one point until the police got involved and leveraged drug charges that, look, also, I just want to say, I know that everyone has been, most people that I've seen on my timeline have been championing, forgot her name, just forgot her name, Carmen, CL. They've been championing CL, saying, oh my gosh, she's amazing, your heart is brave, etc. Lambasting Kouri Richins, she's a wicked of the West. That's my word. Narcissist was the prevailing term. She cheated so many times, but when you look at the record for what it is, it's clear that it's CL that has been testifying all this time, because she has an incentive to testify in favor of the state. I don't think it's deliberately. I think it's just her memory is genuinely bad. I think we got to see evidence of that all through day 4. And I don't think that's a credibility problem. I just think it's a reliability problem, because when you have a situation where the police had laid out to you, they even played the recording, the the audio and video recording of the interview. They even showed that that the police, the detectives were saying, we just want Kouri. We just want Kouri to we just want to make sure that she's convicted. That's neither here or there, but they had already told her about the case. She admitted to that they had told her about Kouri wanting fentanyl. So she just thought, okay, maybe that's what she meant by blues, because the term has changed. Like I said earlier, it takes a bit of time for a promo run to factor over time, and she was still in that life when we got to hear on day 4. She was in that life from 2022 to 2023, and she was still dealing in all those times from 2022 to 2023. So of course she is accustomed to the change, and she's of course gonna think fentanyl had definitely been sold from 2022 to 2023. One thing is missing: December 2021 to January, I think it was January 14th. I'm not too sure. Don't hold me to that. But before February, this is objective. The name had not changed. It was Oxy from December. Go look in the pre-trial documents. Go look in the briefings. You all have it. That hasn't changed. So how on earth could Kouri be held responsible for this crime? How? Because it falls on either Crozier or Carmen. Definitely not Kouri. I don't know how it falls on her. If he overdosed on OxyContin, then yeah, I can see it. Like, of course I'm gonna wait for evidence to come out. This is just what we have so far. So we're now gonna go into the next testimony, in which I believe this is the cross-examination, where he goes on to testify in regards to I believe it was, let's play it just so they can jog my mind a little bit, because I've got memory issues too.
There's snow then. So
Okay.
It is the cross-examination.
Can you remember what you were charging per pill for 30 milligram oxycodones?
like either $25 or $30 a piece.
$25 or $30 per pill. You weren't selling fentanyl at that time, but when you did sell fentanyl, what did that sell for?
About the same.
You sold fentanyl for about the same? Are you aware that there was a time that fentanyl was sold for considerably less than oxycodone?
Yes.
Like, and would that have been earlier when fentanyl first started in the market, or would that just depend on who was selling it?
It just depends on who was selling it,
Okay.
where you got it from. You know, if you know a Hondo that'll give them to you for 80 cents, then yeah, but
All right, that's fair. So, do you recall, let me back up. So you said that when you sold her, the time that you clearly remember the first time she was sitting in a car, was anybody with Ms. Lauber?
I don't remember.
You don't remember
I don't.
there being anyone, or you just don't know?
I just don't know, like, if there was some or if she was by herself. I don't know.
Okay. And then do you recall saying that there was a time you sold to her when a man came with her?
Yes, I do.
So-
I want to know who this man is. If we're gonna hear from him in this trial, I'll be interested to basically know.
That would have been the second time that we talked about earlier, correct?
Not sure. It could have been the first time, but probably. Yeah,
Okay.
if there was twice, why not?
Okay. All right. So, if Ms. Carmen Lauber testified that you told her, these are fentanyl pills, I'm selling you fentanyl pills, would that be true?
I mean, if I said it to her, then it would be true, but I don't know that I said that to her.
Well, were you selling her fentanyl pills?
I don't believe so, no.
Okay.
He doesn't actually sell fentanyl. He started selling fentanyl when the name changed from 2022 February onwards. Impossible for this. Let me actually draw a line. It is very possible, because on the 4th of March is when Eric died. And this is why it just hit me as well. I didn't even realize this. Just literally hit me now. This is why that fourth drug deal they were trying to differentiate it and try to and Wendy was trying to get ahead of. Had that drug deal had gone through the fourth time, if that's the accurate account, then yeah, Kouri is responsible, because that stands to reason that would have likely occurred around February to get that done so that it can be transferred. That's the only way I can marry these two testimonies together, like, you know, what we've covered up until this point. That's the only way that would make sense for oxy and fentanyl to coexist in the same universe, where you can ask for oxy, then then the February hits, the name change, you ask for the blues, and then it goes. So and then of course he starts selling fentanyl to her. But of course this testimony here has just kind of overridden that thought, because he said he started selling fentanyl from when the name changed, and on top of that, Nicole or anyone else never asked him for fentanyl. It was always pills, oxy pills. Let's continue.
And let's go over that again, because I know you were using during that period. But why was it that you remembered that in 2022, early 2022, you were selling oxycodone and not fentanyl?
Because everybody was scared of fentanyl in early 2022 and in 21. You know, it was all over the news and people were dying, and it was kind of hard to get, and people were scared of getting it. And like I testified, I had people that had prescriptions. I had my own prescription, and we sold those.
When you said you had prescription and you knew people that had prescriptions, are you talking about oxycodone?
Yes.
Do you remember the milligrams of your prescription?
Mine were tens at that time.
Tons. Did
Yeah.
you sell any of those to Carmen Lauber?
No.
Okay, so you sold somebody else's prescription.
Yes.
And the pills you sold were actually prescription pills from a pharmacy?
Yes.
And
that's so key, because he was selling legit stuff, and he's supposed to be legit. Again, the ambiguity is, how did fentanyl get
do
into
you
the picture?
recall you met her at the Maverick, and do you recall the person that you were buying from actually lived not super far away from that Maverick? Isn't that correct?
No.
You didn't have a supplier that was pretty close to that Maverick?
No.
You don't recall that you met her there and then you left to get the pills and came back?
I don't remember. I might have met somebody down the street, but I don't remember if I didn't go to anybody's house to get them.
All right, that's fair.
Okay, Willow. I just want Willow's True Crime. Welcome for the first time. I first time seeing you around here. I hope that you are enjoying this. He or she, I'm assuming it's a she because of the cat's picture, cute cat picture there. Anyway, there was a ruling about limiting the testimony of a witness in January. I think it will make sense, because this is clearly a destruction to the timeline. But yeah, so thank you for that info, because I did not read that ruling. I did not come across that ruling. What I came across was the brief where where the state was bringing in the evidence that they have, and they were giving their theory. So that's where I got the timeline from. How it became this is beyond me. Like, anyway, let's go back to this.
So somebody met you a ways from the Maverick to give you the pills? Mm-hmm. Yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry.
And those were that person's prescription?
Yes.
Do you know what the milligrams were? Were they 30 milligrams?
They were 30 milligrams.
All right.
Right. Now let's go into, so it was prescription, right? Let's go into, and I know Kouri is writing there, but I think that's going to play a theme in this. They are going to angle that because I have heard a lot about the opening statements being that Kouri's team was saying that Eric was having a drug problem or something like that. I there's a lot of narrative that I think I have even adopted some, because I don't really remember that being a claim. I have even adopted some to try and argue that, Depp, like, I compared this case to Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, where Depp had addiction issues and needed oxycodone to basically wean off the drug. He was on Roxy's, so he needed a drug to get off the drug. So I thought that's it, but I genuinely don't know if the defense were actually making the argument that he had a drug problem. If anyone does know or have a timestamp, I would, I might as well just go back and read the opening statement. Nonetheless, let's go on to the next point, to the next part of the testimony, and yeah, this is where he goes on to testify in regards to the distinction between oxycodone and OxyContin.
And so I'm the one that typed Oxycontin, correct?
Probably, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And now that I didn't understand them, but I understand now, what's the difference between OxyContin and oxycodone?
Oxycontin is way stronger. And it's time released now, I believe. Like, I think in the 90s it wasn't. They were having a lot of problems around the country with those. And then they made them time released. The oxycodone, or the OxyContin 30s, I believe, are purple, or they're red or maroon color or something like that. But yeah, they have like a gel around them.
All right.
This is why I found this witness as credible, because when we go back now to his direct examination, this is where we got to learn from Robert Crozier in regards to, again, we showed it earlier. This is kind of a replay of that moment, kind of going through a replay of that moment where he had testified. Before we go into that replay of that moment where he testified to his affidavit being, scrubbed, that he was having OxyContin on the affidavit, like his lawyer was putting OxyContin on it, and he was saying no, it's oxycodone. We went through that earlier. This is the part that I want.
With prosecutors in this case in April of 2025 to discuss your testimony.
I do.
And that was before you met with myself and Mr. Bertram in September of 2025.
Yeah. Yes.
And at that meeting, did you tell them then that you never did sell fentanyl to Carmen Lauber?
I told them that I'm pretty sure that I sold her Roxy's and not fentanyl.
Okay. So you told them, excuse me. You told them basically the same thing that you said in September of 2025 and what you're saying today.
Yes.
In your testimony. And did you sign a sworn affidavit that in fact happened?
I did.
All right. And were you sober when you met with the prosecution in 2025?
I was.
To tell them that I never sold her fentanyl, I sold her Roxy 30s,
Yes.
oxycodone.
Oxycodone, yeah.
Okay. When you you talked to your friend Nicole.
The person that put them
What did
together.
she tell you? No, let me rephrase that. What was your understanding of what Carmen Lauber wanted? She said, I have a friend who wants some pills. What was your understanding of what that friend wanted?
Did she wanted Roxy's? Roxy's, I'm sorry.
So again, you didn't start selling fentanyl until late 2022.
That's right.
You had no access to it in January, February, March of 2022.
No.
When you did start selling fentanyl, what color were those pills?
Like almost purple.
A really dark color.
Yeah.
Carmen said it was light blue. That's the confusion. So if this fourth deal actually went pass. Let's say there was a fourth deal and because we got for the record that Bloodworth had actually said it was 3 deals and Carmen confirmed that. However, based on, I don't know, I'm willing to be wrong here. I will always make corrections. From following chronologically, and also looking at the cross-examination where when Lewis was asking about the frequency of deals, I just have to think that there was actually 4 deals that went on, and the 4th deal was likely where there was this issue in regards to the changeover, which has to be this. It clearly wouldn't be an intentional act, because we already know from the baseline Nicole was the one to have asked for Roxy's. It's been Roxy's frequency 3 times. 3 times Roxy's were. So where on earth would she just get this idea, let's get fentanyl now, and no one knows to get fentanyl? And even on top of the getting fentanyl, the person that even sold the fentanyl is describing something distinctly different from what the individual, Carmen, had gotten, which was blue. I'm sorry, if you really want to hold Kouri Richins to account for it, and you really believe that she did this is, you just can't ignore this. You can't, because that's why hold someone guilty if you are just going to ignore the evidence that shows otherwise. Like, who are you advocating for? This last witness, this last witness at this point goes by the name of Anna Isbell. And this is the person that I said is tilted this whole gaming, the state brought her in. She changed everything, because I didn't even know why she was brought in from the States. I don't know what value she added to them. I was confused in this stream, but nonetheless, she basically gave a testimony that was really impactful in regards to hearing the conversation that was going on between Kouri and whoever the intermediary was in this case would be Carmen, to get this whole deal done.
Okay. So,
for reference, this lady was hounded by the detectives, right? And again, like I said, I understand people have opinions, right? I get it. But really and truly, if you see behavior like this, even if you believe, like, you love victims, I'm gonna go here. This whole case reminds me of, like, the time in which I was looking on the timeline and I saw Amber Heard supporters who were talking about Cassie Ventura, Cassie from the Diddy trial, when I'm sure you guys remember that video where Diddy was kicking her and doing all of that, right? And Amber Heard supporters were like, see, this is what Amber Heard was going through. Because obviously they believe Amber Heard, so therefore she can't do no wrong whatsoever. Like, everything she did is factual, right? But the point I'm trying to make is, you can't equate someone to be, you can't claim to be on the side of a victim, right? Which is what the Amber Heard supporters were doing. They claim to be on the side of the victim, that they would even denigrate an actual victim to basically say, this person that I support is the one that should be supported. Likewise here, like her testimony here is the proof, or at least an inference that there's no way Kouri could have asked for fentanyl on top of the evidence already. There's no way she could have asked for it, and she was literally hounded by the detectives to try and get something off her because of what she overheard in regards to this whole deal going down. Let's play.
Before we get to the
I will
phone call,
finish the thought once we finish the testimony.
just a couple of other questions. So you said Hayden did handyman work for Kouri.
Yes.
Did he work on a number of projects for her? Do you know?
That I know of, yeah.
All right. And was Kouri good to him while he was working for her?
Yes.
She would help him out at times?
Yeah.
What kind of things would she help him out with?
Like just advice, helping with like she had helped him get insurance, like liability while he worked for her, so that she wouldn't be liable, like those kind of things.
All right.
She seemed very nice to him.
So you said in January of 2022, Hayden got a phone call. He was on speaker and you could hear part of the call. Mm-hmm. Because you did go
Yes.
into the bathroom for some of the call, correct?
Yes.
All right. So is what you heard Kouri say that she was asking him for the Michael Jackson drug?
That was part of it.
Because you didn't know what that was, correct?
Yeah.
And were you Googling on your phone trying to figure that out during the
I
phone
was-
call?
Going to, but I didn't because I was like trying to figure out what the first thing that she said because I thought it was a muscle relaxer. And then I was like, what the fuck is Michael Jackson stuff?
So you thought she was asking for a muscle relaxant?
That was what I was thinking she was talking about.
Okay, and then you went into the bathroom, right? Mm-hmm. And did you ever, at that call, hear Kouri ask for the drug fentanyl?
I did not.
Okay, I have nothing further.
You didn't hear the Kouri asked for fentanyl. The evidence shows a change of time from February 2022. At this point, you can hate Kouri all you want, but you can't. You just have to be honest. You just have to be intellectually honest. Of course, the trial is still going on, right? So there's a lot of time left to play in all of this. There's a lot of time to go through all of this, right? Now, there's something that I do on this show because I am going to close off now. I am going to be going into the trial room where I watch this trial unfold with all my members. That was the week. Maybe you can call it a week recap. I'm gonna go into the trial room with my members to stream this trial and make my reports of the trial. So you can find all the relevant info in regards to this particular case, in regards to the Kouri Richins trial, on the Catch Up Court website. It is available here. I update it as the case go on. It's got the summary of every testimony made day by day and a detailed report at the end of the coverage. So so you're welcome to, of course, join me in the trial room as I'll be giving live analysis as it's going on. But wherever you're watching from, I hope that you do enjoy it. And of course, like I was saying, going back to all of this, there is something that I like to do every time I do this these previews, and that is to always end with a clip that kind of epitomizes everything that's happened in this trial. It's the same clip as day 5 because nothing has changed. I've said the same thing. Like this is just a supply chain problem. This is just CL being caught up in a bind, and she was trying to get out of it based on everything that's been touched on so far. So this is the clip, and it's from the movie The Departed.
What the fuck did you just fucking say? Why do you think he never gets busted? Costello's a protected FBI informant. He'll trade you out.
Thank you everyone for tuning in for another Catch Up Court live stream. Make sure that you smash that like button as well as hitting that subscribe button to be notified of our future live streams. We go live regularly, bringing you case updates and recaps of ongoing trials, so make sure you hurry back on the next live stream. We also have more content on the channel that you can binge on. Check out the playlist that we have showcasing all of these contents. Without further, I go by the name of Heinz, your friendly neighborhood catch-up man, and I'll see you back in court.